called Near Future, and it is, I'll just read a little bit here. I believe that too many of us are expecting a dystopian future, and that this false narrative has been so embedded in our culture that we're actually starting to cause it to happen. So in my book of short stories, and there's 5 of them in the book, and it's fiction, but it is of a future where we actually do those things to save the planet, and this is what it looks like. And I try to put my ideas culturally and technical, not as much technical as cultural, but weave them through the stories to show what life is like in this saved planet. I think that we need to get a very clear picture of what we want this new future to look like, the good future. Of course, nobody really wants the dystopian future that we keep hearing about. So I think we need to get a clear picture of it so that we can figure out what we need to do to get there. Now, I believe that we need to make better use of our wonderful World Wide Web. We need to use Wi-Fi, and we need to make it available to everyone. And also, I'd like to see a lot more public utility so that that can help us. We've got this technology that we're really not using. I mean, a lot of times online we're using it for buying stuff. That's great. But we also need to use it as public utilities. In the talk I wanted to make today, I wanted to zero in on public schools, because I think public education is critical. And there's 2 little areas that I put in my book, and in my book, these are some of the things that kind of help save the planet. The first thing, we need to add critical thinking to all grades of all school. Nowadays, we encounter marketing more than math or English. I mean, we need to have critical thinking side by side with those classes in K through 12. I'd like to see children to be able to look at a commercial and tell you what's being sold maybe at the beginning, but then by the time they're older, those things are still used, those are the same methods that are used by politicians. And so I think that that will help us to be able to think clearer. We need to learn how to identify all of our options so that we can make decisions rather than following the loudest voices. And if we can teach children to cut through the crap and see what's being presented to them, it will help them to make better decisions and be great voters when they get a little bit older. By the time they're out of high school, they'd be raring to go, right? But my idea was that even if, this is something we could start now, because even if it wasn't something that we were told you could teach this in school, if we had a database that maybe had different areas that, different methods that are being used, marketing methods, and then maybe class lesson plans or suggestions to go along with each topic, that maybe this kind of a Wikipedia dynamic database that everybody could contribute to could be something that we could use as a model for, homeschoolers could use it, public school teachers if they wanted to could, and then also just parents. You could look through there and it makes great dinner discussion. So then the other database, the other thing that was close to me is something I called citizen scientists. And I would like to see a hands-on environmental science in all grades. And I think that in the last few generations we've been raised with a disconnect that is not natural and real, of all that's natural and real. We live most of our lives indoor in sterile, climate-controlled conditions. And so I'd say at least 3 generations now we've been raised this way. Our parents have raised us this way, their parents, and probably our grandparents. And we're so disconnected from what's natural and real that we feel uncomfortable. Don't feel comfortable. Kids don't feel comfortable outside. I'd like to see hands-on environmental science classes where the teachers take them out and they can gather samples from the water, the soil, whatever scientists think would be pertinent, and then that can be downloaded. That information can go into a public database, and from this public database, then people could create apps, and we could see problems like with pollution, help with climate control, help with pollution, climate control. Oh, and also we're going to start having a lot more problems with our weather in general, and this would help us spot those trends. But I think that this information, including the children in collecting this information, I think would be great, because they need to be able to have hands-on and be able to help to save their planet. And I think that that would be great for them. Right now, the planet cannot survive many more years of climate change deniers. And we're all We've all got to get out of our comfort zones, make changes within ourselves and our society. We need to stop being the termite people who destroy and take our place as a plant's guardians who repair and protect it. And as far as I can tell, this current administration, the only thing that they've done is created a generation of activists. I'd like to keep that ball rolling. I want to give these young people every opportunity to contribute to the salvation of their planet. They can be the guardians. They can even, and we all can be, even after we've pulled the planet back from the current disaster and averted the current crisis, we need to be the planet's caretakers. We need to start training our young people for this important job, and that's what my book is about. I try to weave those ideas and these ideas through it. And thank you.